welcome to the channel. My name is Steve, and we're going to talk a little bit about what we're going to cover in this channel. You'll see in the background here, let me turn around, there's actually a 73 Ford Mustang convertible. A 73 Ford Mustang convertible. I'm probably not going to edit that out. Anyhow, so you'll see that over here in the background. So the bulk of this channel will be looking at doing a restoration on that. Right now I'm in my garage, so I'll be doing a lot of filming in the garage. This garage I built, anyways, a long story, I built it a long time ago when I built the house. Actually, it wasn't that long ago, it was about 5 years now ago. This garage measures about 25 deep by 30 wide, and that's outside dimensions. It's also 14 feet 6 inches tall. I know I'm Canadian and I'm not using the metric there, so there's certain things you'll see me say metric, and certain things I'm going to use the imperial on. You'll notice also in the background I've got a Benpack lift. It's a 2-post lift I actually installed just about 6 months ago, I think it was. Wish I did a video on that. That would have been great. The bulk of the stuff, as I mentioned, will be the restoration of the Mustang. I also like to cover various other aspects of the garage, tools, like to do some reviews, product reviews. I'm also going to be doing stuff on car shows and vendors at car shows, again, any kind of product reviews and stuff. As I mentioned before, I am located here I'm actually in the boonies. I'm in a little town called Buckhorn, Ontario. So that's in Canada for you folks. It's about 2 hours north of Toronto. So that's where I live full time. We've got other stuff here, as I mentioned before, I'll be talking about. If I walk around my garage, first of all, you'll actually see I've got my sandblasting cabinet right there in the back. I'll talk a little bit about that. I might do a brief video on it. There's tons of them out there. This sandblasting cabinet I bought from Princess Auto. That would be the equivalent of Harbor Freight, I would imagine, in the US. So I've made some modifications. Maybe I'll probably do a short video on that. So I made some small modifications there. If I go over here now, if we walk, hopefully you folks aren't getting dizzy. If we walk over here, you'll see I actually have my compressor. I've had this for a number of years now. It's got to be pushing 15 or so. Compressor's been working great. I'm going to do some modifications on this thing. Going to replace the lines and all that. But anyways, I'm going to do some modifications. I will do a video on that. Some modifications on how I could reduce the amount of moisture that comes out of it. I got my welder. If I actually, again, walk around here, come down. My good old welder. It's a MIG, TIG, and stick. It's an MP 140. I'll talk a little bit about that as well. Right, it's from Lincoln. So we'll take a look at that. I've got a video that I'll do a little bit on welding. As I mentioned before, the bulk of this content will be the restoration of this Mustang. I know you folks probably hear that furnace going on in the background. Maybe there's my oops, right up there. There's my furnace up there. It's wintertime, so it's springtime where I am right now. So you may hear that furnace kick in and out from time to time. When we're talking about the Mustang here, one of the first videos that we're going to cover is the floor pan replacement. So we'll take a look at that. I've got subframe connectors I want to put into it. I had bought a lot of panels. I purchased this vehicle over 15 years ago, probably even more. And I bought a lot of parts at that time to do a restoration. But it was, well, let's put it this way, things change in life, right? So priorities change and stuff. So I had to put everything completely on hold for the Mustang. And so I had bought a bunch of parts back then. So we'll take a look at it. For example, the parts I bought, floor pans, wheel wells. If you've owned one of these Mustangs, these 71 2s or 3 Mustangs, especially in Canada, those are probably all bondoed up and cheesed up like crazy, unless somebody restored it. So I know I'll be replacing those quarters for sure. I got the wheel wells, both inner and outer wheel wells. Whether we replace them or not, or pieces of them, guess we'll find out when we dig into it, right? The trunk as well, the trunk pan or the trunk itself, somebody's been put some patches in there. So we'll take a look at that. I do have a trunk pan for that as well. As I mentioned, I got quarters. The doors and fenders don't look too bad. I know it's covered up over there, but they don't look too bad. But I know there's Bondo down here at the bottom of these door panels, right? So we'll take a look at that. Now, when I purchased this, At the time, they did not have any aftermarket fenders and doors, um, and so no problems. Uh, Recently, oh, actually, I'm not sure how long ago they came available, but I personally recently noticed them becoming available. So I actually purchased the fenders and doors for this. And my thought was, well, I'd rather have it here just in case I need it, than me by the time I tackle the doors and the fenders, all of a sudden going, yeah, I'm going to replace it, and then because of supply chain issues, I can't locate anything for like a couple of years. So I figure, you know what, it's easier for me to buy it. I'll keep it on hand. If I don't need it, if it turns out I don't need it, then I'll just sell it, right? But at least I have it here. I also have the Mach 1 hood as well. Um, this vehicle has for an engine, has a 351 Cleveland in it. It's a 2V, for those of you that are familiar with the Clevelands. It's not a Windsor, it's a Cleveland. It's got an automatic transmission. It's a C6 standard transmission. We're going to be ripping those baby out, right? So I'm going to rip the engine out. We're going to rebuild the engine. I'd like to do a stroker on it if possible. We'll see. I'll cover all that in the video as well. Ideally, I'd love to convert it from an automatic to a 5-speed. Again, we just have to kind of see how things work out from there. It's got a 9-inch bolt rear end. Sorry, 9-bolt rear end, right? So we'll take a look at that. We'll be putting on dual exhaust and headers as well. It has the factory. You can probably still see it on the ground there in the background. The single exhaust over there. So rip that off. I think that's about it. So as I mentioned, the bulk of the videos will be doing the Mustang restoration. I'll be doing a lot of powder coating as well. I've done a little bit in the past. I'll be doing some powder coating, sandblasting. I'll have videos on that. The powder coating stuff should be pretty cool, to be honest with you. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm going to make my own little oven as well, because if any of you have done any powder coating or looked into it, the ovens can be brutally expensive for some decent sized oven, right? I bought a small little toaster oven. You'll see that when I show you a video. Good for really small parts, but if I want to get into larger parts, that type of thing, something a couple feet long or whatever, I'm actually going to make my own. I've been thinking over the design over the last 6 months, and but I'll bring you along that journey. So this channel is really all about the journey on the restoration of this Mustang, and a lot of the aftermarket stuff. And as I mentioned, one of the things I like going to car shows, talking to vendors there. I'm hoping to hit the Carlisle event down in April. That's a really massive event. I have to see. And I'll bring you folks along with me on that journey as well. But apart from that, thanks for sticking around to the end. If this is something you might be interested in, hit that subscribe button, all right? And if you like this video, or if you found it even slight bit entertaining, hit that like button there. And if you didn't like it, well, you know what to do. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye-bye.